Well, I'm back this week with the second of my Christmas 2015 specials, looking at those wines that we tend to buy around the festive period. And this week we're featuring sparkling wines. Now, in this slot in the past, I've often featured champagne, but this time I'm focusing on English sparkling wines. You know, in the last few years, English sparkling wine has really come of age. The vines are getting more mature, the winemaking is improving, the weather has been favourable, and there are now some terrific wines. I featured lots through this year from estates like Whiston Estate and Exton Park and Coates and Sealy, all at the top of their game. I mean, seriously good sparkling wines to rival champagne. This week I've got three more for us, all of which are relatively easy to buy in time for Christmas. All also come from the 2010 vintage, interestingly enough, so it's a fantastic opportunity to taste three wines side by side from the same vintage, all from the south of England. I'm kicking off with the Umber Classic Cuvée 2010. It's for sale in quite a lot of places actually, but the cheapest deal I could see at the moment is in Majestic, where it's in special offer at £26.98. But at the end of this video I'll put a list of other stockists. So a classic blend of the three champagne grapes, Chardonnay, Pinot Meunier and Pinot Noir, as in fact are all three of these wines, aged for a long time in Umber cellars. And a really lovely nose. There's a real kind of hit of pastry and brioche here. That lovely warm baked apple pie character with both the pastry and the apple. But really, really lovely. A little bit of development there, a tiny bit of that oxidized bruised fruit flavour, which is so authentic. And on the palate, delightful, a very fine mousse, fine bubbles, a lovely citrus freshness to this wine, a lovely appley dryness, but enough breadth and enough weight from that long lees aging to give it a kind of mouth-filling, expansive feel also. A terrific class-leading wine from Umber. Second up is the Henner Brut Reserve. This is another 2010 from the Henner estate in East Sussex. This one a little bit different because it's dominated by Chardonnay, around 70% Chardonnay in the blend here, but another terrific wine. On the nose, a slightly more oxidized character to this, lots of that kind of bruised pear, bruised fruit expression, which is very authentically from wines given this long secondary fermentation in bottle. And on the palate, it's lovely too, you know. It has a creaminess to this, the Chardonnay giving a little kind of creamy, buttery character. Again, very good acidity, a little lime-like streak of acidity through this, and quite a long finish on this wine again. Good balance, and another terrific example of the 2010 vintage. This one's for sale at around £28. The cheapest stockist I could see is winetrust100.co.uk, but again, a list of those stockists coming up. And finishing off, a wine from Surrey, from the Dennys estate. This is the Dennys Cubit Reserve Sparkling Wine, 2010 vintage yet again. The same three champagne grapes yet again. And this one for sale in Asda stores at around £26. Now, I can't see it in Asda online, but I'm assured it is in stores at £26. So, from Dennys, a very pleasing, much more fruity nose, this one. Not quite the developed oxidative character of the other two wines, although it did spend 4 years on the lees. But it's much more about that clean, fresh orchard fruit. And on the palate, a real crowd pleaser, this. It has a certain sweetness to it. It's not a sweet wine by any means, but it has a kind of mid-palate fruit ripeness that's really pleasing. As I say, the fruit much more forward in this wine, but a real crowd pleaser, very well made, and another great example of why English sparkling wine has such a good future. So my wines of the week. We have the Umber Classic Cuvée 2010 selling for £26.98 in Majestic. We have the Henner's Brut Reserve 2010 selling for £28 in Wine Trust 100. And then we have the Dennys Cubit Reserve 2010 selling for £26 in Asda. A great example of English sparkling wine and why you should try it. These are my wines of the week.